Hi, this is Don and Nicole. We are back for another episode of Tax Wars. Today we're going to be talking about the IRS revenue officers and what they are not, how to handle them. But most importantly, there's a lot of myths that people have about what a revenue officer is, and a lot of myths about what they're not. We're going to dig deeply into that. And Nicole and I will perhaps be dispelling some myths and explaining how the system operates now as far as the field agents, also known as revenue officers. Okay, Nicole, any thoughts on that?
Yes. So they are making a lot of changes at the IRS. They are hiring a lot of revenue officers and starting to send them back out into the field where they hadn't been doing so very much during COVID. So I think we will see a lot of changes as far as revenue officers and what they do within the IRS.
Before we get started on that, first we'd like to ask you to like the video, or you can wait until the end if you go so far. Comment. If you have any comments, we always respond to the comments eventually. Nicole's actually getting better at that, responding to comments. And most importantly, subscribe.
Yes.
Now, we are starting to utilize a lot of social media. We're going to be including our social media links down in the drop box below. So if you want to follow us on other areas of social media, such as LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, we're building those out. You can do that. But it's very important. We're trying to build our audience here. So please, if you find us on another social media platform other than YouTube, please go to YouTube and subscribe. That's very important. We're trying to build out our subscription base so that you can get updates right away. And now, let's just jump right into it. Revenue officers. A lot of people have myths about what revenue officers are, what they do, what they can't do, and how they operate. I always would tell clients one of the best examples of what people perceive revenue officers' capacity to be, and in some ways it is if you've ever seen the movie The Matrix, okay, starring Keanu Reeves, think of Agent Smith, okay? Agent Smith was the lead protagonist. And there's one scene where they bring Keanu Reeves' character into a room, and they're going through his file, and Agent Smith is saying, "I see you pay your taxes, you help your landlord, you buy her groceries and take out the trash. This is one file that we have on you." And so, and he's in a confined conference room. I'd actually like it if we're able to just show a brief clip of that. It's very, very important. And that's never going to happen. You're never going to have a revenue officer come to your house or business, arrest you, put you in a car. They'll have 5 other agents there. They're all dressed in black. You know, they're wearing dark sunglasses. They've got the things in the ear. You know, it could happen. I don't want to say that it couldn't happen. Typically, that's going to be covered by another department called Irs-Cid. CID stands for Criminal Investigation Division. Now, if those guys come to your house, believe me, not good.
Don't answer the door.
Don't call us. Yeah. Call Johnny Cochran.
Right.
Yeah,
Definitely.
That's a whole different area, my friends. Well, we ain't helping you. All right. All right. However, getting back to revenue officers, and so Nicole, you just kind of wanted to describe what a revenue officer is for our audience today. And once again, this is for taxpayers, but more so, we're focusing on tax professionals. And believe it, there are many tax professionals who have never had to encounter a revenue officer with regards to their clients. When you work in tax resolution, such as we do, and this tax resolution community, many of us have, Nicole has, I have, seen them in person, on the phone. It's very, very common, and it's going to be a lot more common. We're discovering there are a lot more revenue officers that are going out into the field, just like back in the good old 90s. And it's becoming quite active. So that's why we wanted to touch on this subject. So Nicole, can you kind of describe even from the basically using the context of what would be at irs.gov in terms of what a revenue officer does.
So a revenue officer, I would say, first of all, that the collections department is a lot of just computer-generated notices, computer-generated levies, not really a person sitting there looking at your account, looking into things. It's all done by computer. The revenue officer is a collection agent still, but they pretty much take on the job of the computer, and they're able to do all of that themselves. So they will have the power to levy, lien, garnish, all of those things. But at the same time, you're able to deal with them on a one-on-one basis and kind of go through the case more thoroughly than you are in regular ACS collections with the IRS.
And more specifically, the important thing to note, a revenue officer, okay, is someone who lives in your community.
Yes.
Okay, either where your business is or where your home is. Okay? They are a field agent. They're not someone sitting in DC or Cincinnati or Ohio or in Fresno.
Fresno, yeah.
These people are actually close by you. And what many people don't know is that they can come over to your house.
Yes.
They do this all the time, and they're starting to up this level of activity right now. We're seeing it more and more. They can come to your business. They can talk to your neighbors.
Yes.
They can talk to your minister, your pastor.
They can look through your trash.
They can look through your trash. That's something that Nicole does quite often. She looks through my trash. We'll talk about that later. I have a lawsuit against her right now. I'm suing
I think
her
there's a restraining
for
order,
looking
but
through my
yeah.
trash, including, yes. How'd you know about the restraining order?
I'm not sure how we'll be
The
doing
guy's
videos.
going to serve her right
Right?
now. She's over here. She's over here. Okay, so that's one very important thing to remember. They have full autonomy to do whatever it is that they want within the community. Many people don't know. They can interview your employees if you have a business. Here comes the restraining order now. It's just rolling out. They can talk to just about everyone that you are associated with. Now, we don't want to go to extremes. I mean, they're not going to try and, talk to your dog or your cat, although they can.
They maybe. We'll put that in the maybe pile.
And it can get quite extreme. Now, most revenue officers, what they will typically do is they will come to your home. Okay, they'll knock on the door. If you're not there, they will leave their card and perhaps some other information saying, "Call us. Houston, we've got a problem. Give us a call." They can also often come to your business, but most of the time they're going to come to your home.
Yes.
Okay, for the average taxpayer. When that happens, the mistake that most people make is they actually call the revenue officer without any sort of representation. Now, these people are highly trained to collect information from you. That's all they're doing. Remember, the IRS is not an agency that's there to assist you, okay, in not paying your taxes. They're a collection agency. They're the most powerful collection agency on the planet.
Yes.
Okay? I always tell people, if you were on the space shuttle, the IRS would send a revenue officer to the space shuttle.
That's correct.
To ask you questions and to interview you. Okay, so they can go anywhere in the world.
Yes.
There's no place that you cannot go. When Osama bin Laden was missing and he was being tracked, I said, "Holy crap! Just get an IRS revenue officer on this case. They'll find him immediately." Yeah, he could be in some cave up in the hills of Afghanistan, right? And the IRS revenue. Are you Mr. Bin Laden?
Yes.
Yes, I'm Mr. Bin Laden. How did you find me? You owe the IRS $27,000 in back taxes, sir. Oh my God, this is horrible. I still don't know how to get past my bodyguards.
Right?
I'm a revenue officer.
Yes.
They owe taxes too. They just let me through, you piece of crap. Now pay the money! Or I'll see you in my office in Cincinnati at 6 o'clock tomorrow.
Yes.
Bring your representation if you have it, Mr. Bin Laden. Yeah. So they will find you. They, for some reason, they're just very, very good at that. Actually, and with all of the, electronics and that we use, everything digitized, facial recognition, cameras everywhere. It's getting to the point now that they have the full authority
Yes.
and the full backing of the federal government to track you and trace you. Is it getting that extreme? Well, yes, it is. It's getting that extreme.
Yes.
So please, but calm down. Most of the what I call ultra aggressive revenue officers have left.
Yes.
They all retired. There's not very many of the the gruff, cigar smoking guy. Yeah, I got your case. We're gonna shake you down.
Yeah.
I can take your house, your car, your kids, your wife, your little dog. And I enjoy it. And they're like, I enjoy harassing people like you. Now, those people are gone. They've all been replaced with what, Nicole?
Millennials.
Oh! Peace-loving, kumbaya singing millennials. So, and they're the kindest, sweetest people in the world. You get these little people who've graduated, and they're just like, oh yes. Well, I'd like to talk about your client, Mr. Barnes. They're just very kind, sweet, gentle people, most of them.
Yes.
However, they still have the power to collect on you. But
the push of a button.
the push of a button. However, they're very, very nice.
Yes.
Most of them. You still have a few of the, cigar smoking or the little pinheads. Nah, I'm going to collect on you. I want that money. You are evading the federal government. This is how we take care of you with your tax dollars.
Right?
Yeah. Someone looks like Rick Moranis or something, right? So that's where that's at. However, the IRS is right now staffing up on field agents, revenue officers. They're also staffing up on auditors as well. And it's a little early to tell, but what we've been able to notice in the work that Nicole and I do with our clients is that they are increasing their audits on businesses. Yes. Small businesses, salons, restaurants.
Yes.
Realtors. Anytime where, especially if you have lots of employees.
Or cash, if it's a business that collects a lot of cash.
A business that collects a lot of cash. Oh, that reminds me.
Yes.
I've got a sideline street drug business that I deal in.
Yeah.
But
let's keep it on the down low.
They all pay with their EBT cards. You did say cash, didn't you? That's not going to be a problem for me. Honey, they're going to be coming after you. Yeah. All right. So yeah, if you have a lot of cash business, also the way that you pay your employees, for some reason, if you have a lot of 1099 contractors, that's becoming a problem. So a lot of people working in the construction industry are getting audited. Truckers, logistics. What else we got? Where else are they focusing in on right now?
I think you pretty much hit it with those, but I think they're going after all industries right now. We have seen a lot of those, especially like the salons, because they do receive a lot of cash on a daily basis. So that is one thing because they just decide that they don't need to report the cash that they have. But then also they have the same issue with 1099ing employees, which employees should be W-2. So yeah, that would be the...
Yeah, also medical practices, dentists, chiropractors, especially if you've had a lot of success, a huge increase in business, either just before COVID or during or after. They're taking a look at a lot of things. A lot of times this stuff is nothing.
Yeah, I would say also, if I could just add in, anyone who files a Schedule C who has more than $250,000 worth of income that they're reporting, they're more likely to be audited. So
Holy
definitely,
crap.
yes, yeah, definitely. If you are filing a Schedule C and you have a lot of income coming in, you will want to move that over to a different business entity.
Tell them what a Schedule C is.
Self-employed. If you're self-employed and you don't have an LLC or a C corp or an S corp partnership, then it'll just be reported on your individual tax return.
And the type of people that tend to be self-employed without that are doing a Schedule C, typically are going to be people who we find them working as truck drivers.
Yes.
A lot of realtors,
yes.
right?
Insurance
realtors,
agents.
Insurance agents. A lot of people know that they should get an LLC. They know they should do what's called their estimated quarterlies.
Yes.
That's important. If you're self-employed and you're doing your estimated quarterlies, you're going to be fine
yes.
for the most part.
Yeah.
Right. Because and the reason why most people don't do their estimated quarterlies is because, well, there comes another levy. The reason why they don't do their estimated quarterlies, number one reason is
they love spending the money.
They love spending the money. Wow. Who knew? Nicole loves spending the money too. She should be audited.
Right?
Yeah. But Nicole does her Schedule C. Right? She's no dummy. So, you want to do your schedule, you want to do your estimated quarterlies. And
yes.
kind of just explain what estimated quarterlies are, Nicole.
It's just mostly based on your previous year income and your previous year tax that you owed. So that'd just be making payments in 4 installments during the year to make sure that you don't owe money at the end of the year. So let's just say basic would be if you owed $1,000 last year, you'd want to make 4 payments of $250 throughout the year. There are certain dates that the IRS requires you to make those payments, but then you'd be paid in full. And then when you file your tax return, you wouldn't have to pay anything.
Exactly. Well said, Nicole. I'm going to go do my estimated quarterlies right now. You've convinced me. So one important thing to note is a lot of people know, well, why am I being assigned a revenue officer? What did I do or what did I not do? Most of the time, you're not going to be assigned a revenue officer unless there's something that the computer algorithm at the IRS, and I don't know who created this algorithm, probably it was Nicole.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't work very well. But
you're welcome.
This algorithm, it can red flag certain accounts,
Mm-hmm.
and they can adjust the algorithm too to go after certain industries, go after certain demographics in the country. Say you live in a certain area, and they notice an uptick in self-employment. They notice an uptick in other issues within a state or region. The algorithm will then unleash the dogs of tax on that particular area and just audit and have revenue officers assigned to cases going out into the field.
Yeah, and definitely if you owe money, if you owe more than $250,000 to the IRS, I would expect a revenue officer to be assigned. Or if you're unfiled for quite a few years and the IRS does see what's reported on wage and income. So if you're unfiled and you have high amounts reported as income, then I would expect that a revenue officer would knock on your door.
Exactly. But it can happen for a number of reasons. Another reason, if you have multiple years that you have consistently showing a tax debt,
Yes.
even though you filed, if you're not in an installment agreement, if you're not communicating with the IRS, you're probably going to get assigned a revenue officer. So it can sometimes be debt amounts that are well under $100,000. And this is one of the things that we're starting to see, where revenue officers are being assigned cases that are under $100,000.
Yes.
We're like, why did you get a revenue officer? For God's sake. Well, that's because the Biden administration, remember back in March, the Biden administration said they were going to be hiring more tax auditors, and that also meant more revenue officers. You can't hire more auditors unless you hire the revenue officers to be able to go out and collect. So that's what's going on. And a lot of these agents are relatively new. Okay. A lot of them are people who retired from the IRS and are coming back too, because they know how to do the job. So you're going to see revenue officers once again out in the field, going to businesses and homes. And as this occurs, we want to tell you what to do, both for taxpayers and tax professionals.
Yes.
When your client calls you and says, yeah, these guys in black sunglasses, black suits, showed up at the door and terrified my wife and took my dog as collateral. Okay, so we want to explain to you how to handle this, what to do. So if you're a taxpayer, what would you advise taxpayers to do, Nicole?
Call us and we can get your dog back.
Okay. That's wonderful. I didn't like the dog in the first place, so they didn't keep him. My wife's dog. So tell them how to handle that.
Yeah, I would say the number one thing is that you do not want to ignore it. Do not ignore the notice. Do not ignore the card. Definitely contact a tax professional, or if you are a tax professional, then definitely just give the agent a call first of all. Provide them with your power of attorney, and then make sure that you're communicating well with them. Just because they do have the power to push a button and do a levy or a garnishment on wages, bank accounts, retirement accounts. Pretty much anywhere that you have an asset, the revenue agent can collect from that. So I would say number one would be not to ignore it, but to actively communicate with them.
Okay, very good. So now, when the revenue officer arrives at the door, if you're home and you are the taxpayer, you want to tell the taxpayer, Nicole, how they should handle that issue. Revenue officers knock, knock, knock on the door. They open the door. They see the revenue officer. What should the taxpayer do immediately, if at all possible, Nicole?
For me, I would say that you shouldn't provide any information. You should not answer any questions. Just let them know that you have a representative if you're already working with someone, or that you will be getting a representative to communicate with the revenue officer. Just like when the cops show up, I would not provide them any information, and I would wait for someone who has knowledge of the of the IRS and the process to assist with that.
And at Nicole's house, the cops do show up quite frequently. I've been there a couple of times. When it's happened, it's not great.
Yeah, because they're remembering everything you say. They're writing down everything you say. They will use it against you if you do admit to anything that they see is an issue with your account, and they are able to go through and not only provide collection actions and complete collection actions on your case, they could have the case assigned to an auditor, and they could move forward with audits on your tax returns if they feel that is necessary.
Most importantly, a lot of people think that they're going to upset the revenue officer by saying, I want to get some representation on this. A tax attorney, a CPA, an enrolled agent, such as Nicole. But it actually makes the revenue officer feel better.
Yes.
Because they know that, especially if they're at your door, you have a tax problem that you haven't solved yet.
Yes.
And they would prefer to talk to someone that they can talk shorthand with,
yes.
Someone who understands the process, someone who's experienced in dealing with the IRS revenue officer. It just makes it so much easier
yes.
for them. Okay? It's kind of like when you go to court, if you're representing yourself in your murder case,
yes.
You're just going to frustrate everybody at the court. The judge, the clerk, they go, this guy is he's in there,
yeah, you're going to end up in the electric chair.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So you want to say, they're going to be, great, please let us know who that is. Have them give us a call. We'd be happy to talk with them, because it's just going to make their job easier. Many times they have tons of cases that they're trying to get through, okay? And if they're dealing with, Chuck the truck driver.
Yeah, a 4-hour explanation on publication 1 and your rights as a taxpayer.
Right, and he's difficult to get a hold of,
yep.
And he doesn't understand anything. They have to explain everything to him. They go, well, we need you didn't do your 1120s. You didn't do your, well that's because you should just call my tax preparer. They were supposed to do all that for me. Well, we don't care about your tax preparer. We don't know you.
Yes.
But I don't know nothing about taxes. I don't know nothing about taxes. They go, well, who's your taxpayer? Well, I haven't actually. He's got all my stuff for the past 7 years, but they haven't filed anything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, that's the problem. And I haven't been able to get them on the phone, so I don't know what's going on. but you should call them.
Yeah.
and the revenue officer is just like, oh my God, I have to do it.
Levy.
I got thousands of these. Right, and they're just gonna.
Truck is mine.
They're just gonna. They can start levying, and they will, because they're going to start to get more aggressive.
Yes.
Post-COVID, that's probably the reason why we're going to see so many revenue officers out in the field. One of the things that I believe they're going to start looking for is for the fraud and the COVID stimulus and the PPP loans. If you got a PPP loan, okay. First off, before you listen to anything else, if you need to go to the bathroom and go PPP or poo, or whatever it is that you do, it's like, that's your business. We don't want to know.
Yeah, and I hope you saved the receipt for that Lamborghini you bought with the money.
Yeah.
You might have to return it.
We needed a company car, so we all got Lambos. Oh, why'd you need Lambos? Well, it helps when we're taking clients out for showings. Yeah. So you probably, if you didn't have all your I's dotted and all your T's crossed, you're probably going to get a knock on the door from a revenue officer within the next 3 years. Also, one of the things that we're finding this out, just from figuring it out, is that there are a lot of companies, in order to get money, went back and falsified.
Yes.
Oh
Yes. We have so many people calling us saying that I never worked at this place. I worked there in 2016, but now they reported in 2019, 2020, and 2021 that I had a W-2. We contact the business. They say, no, we have no records of that.
Yeah. And so we're discovering that they're issuing information showing that someone worked at the company, and the person either never worked at that company or hadn't worked at that company in years.
Yes.
And they're reporting income. And here's the catch. They report the exact same amount of income from when the person worked there 3 years ago. That's PPP stuff, folks. They're coming for you. Okay?
Give us a call.
And the reason why we know this is because Nicole got a PPP loan. Hey,
I don't answer the door.
Revenue agent, she's over here. Let her go pee first. Okay, listen, folks. This video is getting a little bit long. This is for entertainment purposes only.
2% educational.
We're not true tax professionals, but we do play them on YouTube. Okay. So take this with a cup of coffee and a grain of salt.
Yes.
We're going to be back interviewing several very important people. I believe tomorrow we have coming up an enroll agent who has a great history in the business. Her name is Wendy Taylor. Awesome. So Wendy Taylor is going to be with us. Someone I love who has a great deal of experience. Also, we had an excellent video on student loan debt with Keith Connolly. As far as we're concerned, the video's gone viral. Yeah. So Keith Connolly, he is a student loan debt expert. And we also had Randy Salter, tax attorney Randy Salter, who covers offer and compromises in great detail. This is one of the most fascinating videos, I believe, interviews that we've had. If you get a chance, check out Randy Salter, especially if you are an EA, a tax attorney, CPA. He has some really good information on how to handle offers, things that most people don't know about and don't think about. Yes. In the meantime,
we also had Bob Friedenthal. He was our LinkedIn expert, so he has a lot of great information on LinkedIn and advertising there as well.
Yeah,
so that was great.
I wasn't going to mention Bob. Okay, so hi, Bob. Nicole mentioned you. All right. So we've got some other exciting guests scheduled. We're going to have several crypto tax attorneys in the crypto Bitcoin market. We're also going to have a tax attorney that works in the cannabis industry. Okay, and we like to hang out over at that office. It's very relaxing.
Right?
Very relaxing. Okay. And also some other very exciting guests that specialize in very specific areas of tax resolution in certain industries.
Yes.
So please remember, let's keep us going. Subscribe, hit the like button, and comment.
Yes.
We need to have more and more people commenting and coming back to the channel. We're trying to grow out the community. And if you have questions, you can always email us, or you can always go to our website at
taxwarsusa.com.
Fantastic. All right, we'll have more probably next week. We'll continue this on the revenue officers and what's going on with the IRS with revenue officers.
Yes.
Until then, we'll chat with you soon.